Hi, we're going to do some data analysis here. I have some data from somebody's acceleration lab. No one in your class, but we have some data here. So we want to do some things. First of all, when we're presenting the data, we want to make sure we have the right number of decimal places. We don't really need this many with the sign, but it doesn't matter. It's just a calculated value. However, all of our uncertainties should be one non-zero decimal place, and then our averages should be rounded to that same place, like so. Okay? Now we're interested in having a graph. I want my independent variable to be the sine of the angle, and I'm going to have average acceleration on my graph. I can actually select both by using control and then selecting, and then I'm going to insert a nice scatter plot, making sure I connect the ones that does not have any lines connecting it. Alright, and now I want to do some stuff with this data set to make it look nice, and I'm going to start by actually getting rid of the little key there, the legend. Who needs that? I'm not going to put on a whole lot of information. I do want to stick in the sine theta. Theta is a Q, which I'm then going to put into symbol font by selecting it, and then in the home menu. Alright, maybe I'm not going to do that there. Let's try selecting it down here, and then in the home menu I can change the font to symbol. Okay, and now it's theta. I can also make that italic because that's nice. And then for my vertical axis, I want that to read acceleration meters per second squared. And once again, I want to make that one superscript. So for that, I go in here and I do superscript. I say okay, ta-da, it's superscript. Okay, so chart tools, layout, start with error bars, and I want more error bars options right off the bat. I want vertical error bars, both plus and minus. Alright, my end line with a cap, I like that. And I'm going to do some custom ones, so I need to specify the value. For the positive value, I want to take the uncertainty, and for the negative value, I also want to take the uncertainty. Alright, then I say OK, and I close, and oh my gosh, I've got horizontal error bars as well as vertical ones. Who wants that? So I click on one of the horizontal ones, that selects all of them, and I just use my delete key to get rid of them. Now notice that some of my error bars are bigger than others. If I want to see all of them, I can format this data series so that the markers are all tiny, and I'm going to make them little. Can I just make a circle? Alright, I'm going to make them that. And I'm going to make them little, and I'm going to make them black. Ta-da! Alright, so hopefully that worked. Yes, I've got tiny little black dots with error bars. I would like to have a trend line, so I'm going to go to my trend line and more trend line options. And then I choose to display the equation on the chart. And then I'm going to do some stuff with this equation. First of all, I got to change this y to an a for acceleration, and better yet, I'm going to make that italic. I'm going to change this x to the sine of the angle, and once again, that's q. And I'm going to, let's put that into symbol font and italic, and ta-da! In order to know what to do with my slope here, I need to know what my uncertainty is, and same with my y-intercept. So for that, I'm going to use the linest function. I'm going to move the whole graph over a little bit so I've got room for this. To do the linest function, I'm going to select 4 boxes, and it doesn't matter where they are as long as there's nothing in them yet, okay? And there's no formulas already there. I'm going to type equals LINEST for linest, parentheses. I need my y values, and it's very nice that it prompts you. It says known y's, and it's even bold, so I know that's next, okay? Now known x's is in bold, so I select those. Now there's 2 ways I can do this. I can either go true or I can do 1. It doesn't matter. I could have it say 1, 1, I could say true, true, whatever. Okay, now I have not hit return. What I'm going to do next is hit Control Shift Enter, and you can see that all 4 boxes become filled. The top left box is the slope. The box right below that is the uncertainty in the slope. The top right box is the y-intercept, and the box right below that is the uncertainty in the y-intercept. Okay, so now that I know that, I can take my uncertainties and bring them down to 1 non-zero digit, just like with my standard deviations, and then these values, just like the averages, I'm going to bring them down so that they are in the same place. And now I know what to do with my slope and y-intercept. I'm actually going to put parentheses around the slope just for convenience sake. And it's not 11.214, it's 11.2 plus or minus 0.7. Alright, so how do I get plus or minus? I got to go to the Insert menu, choose Symbol. I happen to have used it recently, so it's down here, but if I can't find that, I actually have to go through and search through all the symbols to see if I can find a plus minus. Ah, there it is. I select it, I say Insert, I close this box. So 11.2 plus or minus, put 0.7, and this is in meters per second squared. Close the parentheses. If I want to make that superscript, which I do, I need to select it. I'm just actually using the Shift key and the arrow keys in order to select. And I can go to the font menu. I got to click on this little corner thing like you saw before. Superscript, OK. Alright, then my y-intercept, this is really going to be 0.5. Plus or minus, I got to insert a symbol. Since I've used it recently, this should show up as in my recently used symbols. Click Insert, click Close, and it's going to be 0.1, and the units for this are also meters per second squared. That's it. It doesn't usually work out that way. It just happens to work out that way because sine of an angle does not have any units. When there's no units, then you don't have to worry about them. Isn't that nice? So this gives us the total equation for the best fit line, the trend line for this data. It's not that great. 11.2, we were hoping for 9.8 with this. And even if you subtract 0.7, you still get 10.5, which is still not equal to 9.8. Alright, I hope that clears up your questions, and certainly ask me if you have any more questions.